This time, I test an SV650 while Tom has a moment. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Suzuki's venerable 650 SV first appeared in 1999. Deb bought one back in 2000, which aside from the colour, is pretty much identical to the bike we're riding today. The SV's been around for donkeys, and everybody's pretty familiar with the engine. It's a 90-degree V-twin 650 that makes around 70 horsepower. This wasn't a great deal even then, particularly when you compared it to Yamaha's Phaser or Suzuki's own Bandit models. But the Suzuki was lighter and nimbler, and that torquey 650 V-twin made it a real pleasure to ride between corners. The engine produces minimal vibration, and the torquey nature means that riding at speed is a joy. The chassis is pretty straightforward, with minimal adjustment, just the rear suspension. But it works very well on the road. All in all, the machine just feels really competent. You wonder why other machines have so much stuff to fiddle around with. The bike has just what it needs to get the job done, and done well. The brakes are great, and the gearbox is typical Suzuki. Nice and smooth in operation, and very sturdy too. Clearly what Suzuki were after here was a sort of user-friendly version of a Ducati. And in that, I think they've achieved the job really well. The riding position is really quite sporty, which is good when riding at speed, but below 60 miles an hour, the bike can get a little bit wristy. But the seat is well padded and comfortable. The foot pegs are predictably sporty high. But it's not too bad. There are certainly worse sports bikes out there. And I say sports bike for good reason. Okay, it's no R6. But it's quick enough. 130 miles an hour is enough for anybody, on the road at least. And these bikes are very popular for track day riders too. Mainly because they're cheap to buy and very user friendly. They handle easily, and the brakes are very much up to the job. They may not be the most expensive or cutting edge brakes, but they work extremely well. I had Tom as outrider running a camera in front of me today, and as we pulled into this junction, things got a little bit exciting for him. Whoa! I could smell the rubber burning from here. Ooh, a little bit squirrely there, Tom. We pulled over and Tom gave me a look that can only be interpreted as saying, whoops. So we took a time out and discussed the concept of cadence braking. But then, every day is a school day, isn't it? He's just burned a little bit of rubber off, that's all. So we carried on our way, evaluating the Suzuki as we went. Carbs on this bike seem perfectly well set up. It's got very smooth powder, very linear. The suspension is, as you would expect on an SV650S, a little bit on the firm side, but not bad at all really. So as the weather began to turn, we thought it best to head for home. Wisely too, because it shook down. The bike though was fine. And that pretty much says a lot about the SV650. It's a mighty fine bike. And there's a good reason that these machines have been in production for over 20 years now. Little changed in many ways. It's well engineered and an excellent all-round machine. It'll do whatever you want it to do. It doesn't have traction control. It doesn't have rider modes. It doesn't have them because it doesn't need them. It's a bike with a real character of its own. And that's why I believe it's been so successful for so very long. So all that remains to say is, ride safely. Oh, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.